What if I told you that the life you're living right now isn't actually yours? That the way people treat you, the money you earn, the opportunities you see or don't see, are simply reflections of a mindset you've built, mostly without realizing it. It's strange, isn't it? You think you're in control, making conscious choices every day, but in truth, your mind has been quietly programming your reality in the background, like a script you never knew you wrote. And here's the shocking part. This script determines not just what you get, but what you lose, not by fate, but by the state of your mind. The Buddha once said, "What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create." In Buddhism, the mind is the master architect of your life. If the architect is careless, the structure will collapse under the weight of life's storms. But if the architect is disciplined and wise, the structure will stand strong and beautiful, no matter what comes. Today, we'll uncover 7 powerful Buddhist lessons that will help you master your mindset so deeply that life itself will start to bend in your favor, and you'll finally get what you truly deserve. Lesson 1. Your thoughts shape your reality. In Buddhism, the mind is not just a tool. It is the very foundation upon which your entire life is built. Every experience you've ever had, every opportunity gained or lost, every relationship nurtured or broken, has its roots in the silent, unseen world of your thoughts. The outer world is never truly separate from the inner world. It is a perfect mirror, reflecting back to you the quality of your inner state. When your thoughts are clouded with doubt, soaked in fear and chained by limitation, your life inevitably begins to echo those same patterns, creating circumstances that confirm what you already believe. But when your thoughts are anchored in clarity, guided by compassion, and open to possibility, life begins to respond in kind, offering you opportunities, connections, and moments of grace that you once thought were beyond your reach. This is why the Buddha placed such profound emphasis on mindfulness, not as a gentle suggestion or a spiritual pastime, but as a vital survival skill for the soul. To master your destiny, you must first master the quality of the thoughts you entertain. Every thought is a seed, and your mind is the fertile soil. If you sow seeds of worry, jealousy, and resentment, you will inevitably harvest a life of restlessness and dissatisfaction. But if you plant seeds of gratitude, confidence, and loving kindness, your life will bloom in ways you cannot yet imagine. To get what you truly deserve, begin by consciously training your mind to dwell only on what uplifts, empowers, and aligns with the life you want to live. Guard your thoughts as fiercely as you would guard your most precious treasure, because they are quietly writing the script of your future in every passing moment. Lesson 2. Let go of the illusion of control. One of the deepest truths in Buddhism is that much of our suffering comes not from what happens to us, but from our desperate attempt to control what was never ours to command. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, plan better, or worry more, we can force life to unfold exactly the way we want. But life is not a machine to be programmed. It is a river, constantly moving, shifting, and reshaping itself beyond our control. The more tightly you grip the river, the more it slips through your fingers, leaving you exhausted and empty. This clinging creates a state of constant tension in the mind, as if you are always bracing for a storm that may never come. The Buddha taught that liberation comes not from controlling the flow, but from learning to move with it. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means surrendering the illusion that you can dictate every outcome and instead learning to trust the natural rhythm of life. This trust opens a space in your heart where peace can live, even when circumstances seem uncertain. It allows you to see that some doors close so better ones can open, that some people leave so the right ones can enter, and that some dreams fade so deeper, truer ones can take their place. When you release your grip on how life should be, you create room for life to surprise you with how beautiful it can actually be. And in that surrender, you discover that true power doesn't come from forcing reality to bend to your will. It comes from aligning yourself so deeply with the present moment that whatever life brings, you are ready to meet it with grace, clarity, and unshakable inner strength. Lesson 3. Desire less. Appreciate more. In the Buddhist understanding of the mind, unrestrained desire is one of the great roots of suffering. The more we crave, the more restless our minds become, and the more life feels like a constant chase toward an ever-receding finish line. We convince ourselves that happiness is somewhere out there, in the next promotion, the bigger house, the perfect relationship. And yet every time we attain one desire, another quickly takes its place. This endless pursuit keeps us trapped in a state of lack, where no matter what we have, it never feels like enough. The Buddha taught that real freedom is found not in the endless accumulation of more, but in the deep appreciation of what already is. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition or refusing to set goals. It means untangling your happiness from the constant demand for more. When you start to live in gratitude, you shift from scarcity to abundance. You begin to notice the quiet blessings that were always there but overlooked. The breath in your lungs, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the meal before you, the presence of a loved one, the lessons learned from life's trials. Gratitude is not passive. It's an active reorientation of the mind, a conscious decision to focus on what's here rather than what's missing. And in that focus, something miraculous happens. Your desires naturally refine themselves. You stop chasing hollow wants and start cultivating meaningful intentions that align with your values and your highest self. This transformation of desire is powerful because when your wants are no longer driven by ego or social comparison, they are no longer a burden. Instead, they become expressions of your inner truth, free from the anxiety of keeping up or proving your worth. And paradoxically, the less you cling to desire, the more life gives you. By appreciating more and desiring less, you step into a state where contentment and opportunity coexist, where you are both satisfied with today and open to the blessings of tomorrow. In this balance lies the quiet power to get what you truly deserve, not by constant chasing, but by becoming the kind of person for whom life naturally flows with grace, abundance, and peace. Lesson 4. See challenges as teachers. In the Buddhist view of life, every experience, no matter how painful, inconvenient, or unwanted, arrives with a hidden purpose: to awaken you. Yet, for most people, challenges are seen as curses to escape rather than teachers to embrace. We label difficult situations as bad luck or punishment, and in doing so, we miss the treasures they hide. But the Buddha taught that suffering, when approached with wisdom, is a sacred invitation to see ourselves more clearly. Challenges strip away illusions, revealing the truth about who we are, what we value, and what still holds us captive inside. Think of the hardest moments in your life, the heartbreaks, the losses, the betrayals, the failures. At the time, they may have felt like cruel punishments from the universe. Yet looking back, you can often see how those moments reshaped you, deepened your understanding, and carved a new path you would never have chosen on your own. This is the paradox of life. The very experiences we try so hard to avoid are often the ones that carry the wisdom we most need. In Buddhism, challenges are not accidents. They are opportunities, perfectly tailored for your growth. Just as fire forges steel and pressure forms diamonds, life uses adversity to refine your character, sharpen your mind, and expand your heart. But to receive the lesson, you must meet challenges with openness rather than resistance. Resistance hardens you. Openness transforms you. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, What is this trying to teach me? This single question moves you from being a victim of life to a student of life. You realize that every difficulty carries a mirror, showing you where your ego still holds control, where your fears still bind you, and where your patience, humility, and compassion still need to grow. When you see challenges as teachers, you also free yourself from the constant craving for an easy life. You stop measuring your worth by how few problems you have, and instead measure your growth by how skillfully you meet them. You no longer run from pain. You lean into it with curiosity, knowing that the faster you face it, the faster it transforms into wisdom. You begin to see that even in the most painful storms, there are gifts. Strength you didn't know you had, compassion you didn't know you could give, clarity that changes the course of your life. The most powerful people are not those who have avoided challenges, but those who have faced them fully and emerged with their hearts still open. They are the ones who have learned to bow to difficulty, not in defeat, but in gratitude for the wisdom it delivers. They understand that adversity is not here to break you. It's here to shape you into the person who can hold the life you truly deserve. And when you can look at every challenge, no matter how painful, and say, "Thank you for the lesson," you have stepped into a state of mastery that few ever reach. You will no longer fear what life throws at you, because you will know that whatever comes, it will not come to destroy you. It will come to prepare you. And in that space of deep trust and inner strength, you will find yourself walking through life with a mind unshaken, a heart unafraid, and a spirit ready to receive every blessing meant for you. Lesson 5. Master the art of presence. In the Buddhist way of understanding the mind, the present moment is not just a slice of time. It is the only reality in which life truly exists. Yet most of us spend our days anywhere but here. Our minds are either chained to the past, replaying mistakes, regrets, and conversations we wish had gone differently, or they are racing into the future, trying to predict, control, and prepare for events that have not yet arrived. We live in a state of mental time travel, believing that if we analyze the past enough or plan the future perfectly, we will finally feel safe, happy, or free. But the truth is, the past is untouchable and the future is unknowable. The only place where your life can be lived, where joy can be felt, and where change can happen is this moment right now. The Buddha often used the metaphor of a candle flame. It exists only in the present moment. It cannot burn in yesterday, and it cannot burn in tomorrow. Yet the mind, untrained, flickers between times that no longer exist or have yet to be. This flickering is the root of much of our suffering. When we dwell in the past, we trap ourselves in wounds that no longer need to bleed. When we live in the future, we invite anxieties for problems that may never come. In both cases, we abandon the present, and in doing so, we abandon the only place where peace, clarity, and transformation are possible. To master the art of presence, you must first train your awareness to recognize when it has wandered. This is why Buddhist practice places such emphasis on mindfulness. It is the skill of returning to now again and again without judgment. It is the realization that no matter how far the mind drifts, you can always come back. This returning is not a weakness, it is the work. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes to anchor yourself in the unfolding moment. Presence does not mean your mind is empty or that you never think about the past or future. It means you are not lost in them. It means you are awake to the reality unfolding before you, not trapped in the shadows of what was or what might be. When you are truly present, life takes on a richness that cannot be found anywhere else. You begin to notice details you once overlooked: the warmth of the sun on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet kindness in a stranger's smile. You hear the depth in someone's words instead of just waiting for your turn to speak. You taste your food instead of just swallowing it. You live moments instead of rushing through them. And in this deep noticing, you find that even the simplest experiences are filled with beauty. Presence is also the foundation of power. Decisions made in presence are clearer, wiser, and more aligned with your values. Actions taken in presence carry more focus, more intention, and therefore, more impact. When you are present, you are no longer reacting blindly. You are responding consciously. You stop leaking your energy into the mental noise of what if and if only, and start investing it in what is actually happening. Over time, this builds an unshakable confidence because you know that no matter what life brings, you will meet it fully awake and fully here. But perhaps the most profound gift of presence is that it frees you from the illusion that happiness lives somewhere else, in a memory you've lost or a future you have yet to reach. It shows you that joy is not a distant reward to chase. It is a reality to inhabit. When you master the art of presence, you no longer postpone your life until things get better. You stop waiting for permission to feel alive. You begin to see that every moment, even the imperfect ones, carries something sacred if you are willing to see it. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This is not just advice. It is a map to liberation. When you live fully here, you are no longer trapped by yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's uncertainties. You begin to understand that the present moment is not small. It contains the entire universe, waiting to be experienced. And when you learn to live in it, moment by moment, you unlock a peace and a power that no loss, no change, no challenge can take away. Presence is not simply a skill. It is the gateway to the life you have been seeking all along. Lesson 6. Release the ego, embrace compassion. In Buddhism, the ego is not simply arrogance or self-importance. It is the false sense of identity we build from our attachments, fears, and comparisons. It is the voice in your mind that says, "I am separate. I am special. I must protect myself at all costs." At first glance, the ego might seem like a friend. It tells you to stand up for yourself, to fight for your worth, to hold your ground. But the deeper truth is that the ego is a prison guard, keeping you trapped in a small, fragile self that must constantly defend its image. It convinces you that you are only as valuable as your latest success, your newest possession, or the approval you've earned from others. It feeds on comparison, keeping you forever measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. The more you live through the ego, the more disconnected you become, not just from others, but from your own true nature. The Buddha taught that liberation comes when you stop clinging to this false identity. Without the constant demands of ego, you no longer feel the need to prove your worth in every interaction or to dominate every conversation. You begin to see that your value is not based on being better than anyone else. It comes from the simple, unshakable fact that you exist as a living, breathing part of the universe. And when you start to live from that truth, compassion naturally blooms. Compassion is not pity, nor is it weakness. It is the recognition that all beings, no matter how different they appear, share the same basic longing: to be happy, to be safe, to be free from suffering. When you truly understand this, it becomes almost impossible to hate, because you see yourself reflected in everyone you meet. Releasing the ego doesn't mean erasing your individuality or ignoring your needs. It means loosening the grip of the false self so that the deeper, wiser self can lead. It means no longer living every moment as if the world is judging you, because you've stopped judging yourself through the lens of insecurity. The ego says, "I must win, so you must lose." Compassion says, "We can both rise together." The ego thrives on separation. Compassion thrives on connection. And here lies the great paradox. When you stop trying to prove your worth through ego, You begin to radiate a quiet strength and confidence that no one can take away. In relationships, compassion transforms everything. Instead of reacting defensively when someone disagrees with you, you begin to listen. Instead of rushing to judge when someone makes a mistake, you begin to understand. You stop seeing people only as characters in your story and start seeing them as full human beings, each carrying their own struggles, hopes, and hidden wounds. And this shift doesn't just heal your connections, it heals you. Compassion dissolves the inner tension created by ego. It allows you to breathe deeper, to sleep easier, to walk through life with a mind that is less reactive and a heart that is more open. But make no mistake, this is not a one-time transformation. The ego is clever. It hides in your victories and lurks in your failures. It will whisper in your ear when you've been praised, tempting you to feel superior, and it will scream in your mind when you've been criticized, convincing you that you are worthless. That's why releasing the ego requires constant awareness. It's a daily practice of catching yourself when you slip into comparison, judgment, or the need to prove yourself, and then choosing compassion instead. Over time, this practice becomes a habit. You start to notice that you no longer take things as personally. You no longer feel the need to always be right. You no longer need to win every argument just to protect an image of yourself. The ultimate reward of releasing the ego is freedom. You are no longer imprisoned by the endless need for validation or the exhausting chase for superiority. And when you are free, your compassion can flow without fear, without calculation, without needing anything in return. This is where the deepest transformation happens, because compassion is not just kindness, it is clarity. It shows you that when you help someone else rise, you rise too. When you forgive someone else, you are also freeing yourself. When you ease another's pain, your own heart becomes lighter. The Buddha once said, "Conquer the angry one by not getting angry. Conquer the miser with generosity. Conquer the liar with truth." This is the wisdom of compassion. It does not fight ego with ego. It dissolves it with understanding. And when you live this way, you begin to experience a different kind of power. Not the fragile power of dominance, but the unshakable power of connection, trust, and love. This is the kind of power that changes the way people see you, the way opportunities come to you, and the way life itself responds to you. When you release the ego and embrace compassion, you stop trying to climb to the top of a lonely mountain, and instead, you find yourself walking a shared path where every step forward is a victory for all. And in that place, you don't just get what you truly deserve. You give, receive, and create a life so rich in meaning that no material success could ever compare. Lesson 7. Align your actions with your intentions. In the Buddhist understanding of the human mind, intention is like the seed, and action is the water and sunlight that allows that seed to grow. You may hold the most beautiful vision in your heart, dream the grandest dreams, and set the purest intentions. But without aligning your daily actions to those intentions, they remain nothing more than unplanted seeds, unable to take root in the soil of reality. This is where many people fall short. They mistake wanting something for working toward it, or they believe that thinking positively is enough to call blessings into their life. The truth, as Buddhism teaches, is that the inner and the outer must be in harmony. If your intentions are noble but your actions contradict them, you create inner conflict, and this disharmony becomes a block that prevents you from receiving what you truly deserve. You cannot pray for peace while sowing chaos with your words and behavior. You cannot wish for abundance while acting from a place of fear, scarcity, and distrust. And you cannot hope for deep, lasting love while behaving in ways that shut people out. Aligning your actions with your intentions requires radical honesty. It means looking at the way you spend your time, the way you speak to others, the way you treat your body, your mind, and your spirit, and asking yourself, do these actions reflect the person I say I want to be? Do they lead me toward or away from the life I claim I want? This kind of self-examination is uncomfortable because it forces you to see where your habits, excuses, and distractions are sabotaging your higher goals. But this discomfort is sacred. It is the first step toward real transformation. It's not enough to declare, I want to be compassionate, if you allow impatience, judgment, or ego to control your behavior. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful, if you spend more time wishing for opportunities than building the skills and discipline to handle them. The Buddha taught that right intention must be followed by right action, because only through the marriage of thought and deed can true change be born. To live in this alignment, you must treat every action, no matter how small, as a vote for the life you want. Every morning you wake up, you are presented with a series of choices: what to focus on, how to respond to challenges, where to direct your energy. Each choice either strengthens or weakens the alignment between your inner vision and your outer life. It may feel overwhelming at first, but alignment is not about perfection. It is about consistency. Even the smallest daily act, if done with the right intention, moves you closer to your highest self. A simple word of kindness aligns you with compassion. A moment of patience aligns you with peace. A decision to work diligently even when no one is watching aligns you with integrity and discipline. This alignment also demands that you stop chasing instant gratification and instead live with the patience of a gardener. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, nurture it, and trust that in time it will break through the soil. In the same way, once you have set your intentions and taken consistent aligned actions, you must trust the process. The results may not arrive as quickly as you hope, and they may not take the exact shape you imagined. But if your intentions are true and your actions are in harmony, the universe will conspire to bring you what is rightfully yours. And here's the deeper truth. Alignment is not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming the person who is ready to receive it. If you were given your deepest desires today without the discipline, the wisdom, and the strength to hold them, they would slip through your fingers like water. But when you align your actions with your intentions, you slowly shape yourself into a vessel that can hold blessings without breaking. You become trustworthy in the eyes of life itself. You send a clear message to the universe: I am ready. I am prepared. I am living the life I am asking for. And the universe responds in kind. The Buddha's path teaches us that this is the ultimate form of mastery, not to wish for a better life and wait for it to arrive, but to live each day in a way that makes it inevitable. This is not magical thinking. It is the deepest form of cause and effect. Every thought, every word, every act is a cause, and every cause has its effect. Align your causes with your intentions, and the effects will take care of themselves. When your inner world and your outer actions walk in step, you no longer feel like life is something happening to you. You feel like you are actively shaping it with every breath. And in that state, you will find that what you truly deserve is no longer out of reach. It is already on its way to you, drawn to the person you have become through the quiet, relentless power of living in alignment. Conclusion. When you look at these 7 lessons together, you see a complete path to mastering your mindset and finally getting what you truly deserve. First, you must understand that your thoughts shape your reality. Guard them, feed them wisely, and they will build the life you want. Then, let go of the illusion of control. Stop trying to force life into your design, and instead, move with its natural flow. Learn to desire less and appreciate more so you live from abundance rather than lack. See that challenges are not curses but teachers. each one shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Master the art of presence, for only in the now can you act with clarity, power, and peace. Release the ego and embrace compassion, freeing yourself from the exhausting game of proving your worth and opening your heart to deeper connections. Finally, align your actions with your intentions, making sure every step you take supports the life you claim to want. When these 7 truths become your daily practice, you stop chasing your best life and start living it, naturally, powerfully, and without fear that it will ever slip away.